Going live
Yes,
on all three venues.
Heyo!
Welcome everybody to Monday Night Live. So good to be back with you. It's Monday night here in sunny St. George, which has been amazingly cool this year. I'm grateful for. But I'm Dean Nixon. This is Kate Semmens with TurningLeaf Wellness Center out of St. George, Utah. And we're excited to come at you live once again tonight.
On your favorite social media platform.
Yes, of your choice.
Of your choosing.
So we've got 3 different platforms tonight. I think we've done well in getting them all lined up.
So just so you know, whichever one you may be watching, if we're not making eye contact with you, it's because who knows what camera we're looking at.
We don't know what camera we're on at this point. So, well, as we get going tonight, we want to just remind everybody that we're grateful that you're viewing. Thank you for your likes.
Yes.
Thank you for your shares. It helps us get the message out. It helps people get some of the coping skills that are so important to the world, and some of the answers. So thank you for chiming in. Hello, Brenda.
Yep, and Moira. What up, Orlando?
Yeah, we got all these people tuning in. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Oh.
You go.
I'll go.
We paused so awkwardly at the same time.
That was
awesome.
Take a deep breath in. So, like Dean said, we've been going over the coping skills the last 8 weeks. This is week number 9 because we spent 2 full weeks on meditation and prayer.
That's right.
So we've been going through the key. Let me get it up in everyone's view there, which is a book written by our very own Dean Nixon and Kelley.
Yep.
You can get it on Amazon. I've been sticking it in the on Facebook in the description. So if you need the link, or just go to Amazon and just search for Dean Nixon, it'll come right on up.
Oh, let me see if I can tip it down. Thank you. Oh, hopefully it doesn't tip over. We've had it tip over before, Jill.
We definitely have had a tip before.
So hopefully that helps. We were just told to tip the camera down, so we did.
Got it.
So hopefully that showed up.
All right. So tonight actually is the very last coping skill that we find in the key. So we're going to wrap this super fun little book club that we've been having up because I've just been loving it. You guys know I've been loving it. It's been super fun. So just kind of a little recap from the last 8 weeks though. Some things, if this is the very first time that you're catching us on our little journey here with Isaac through the different coping skills. One thing that we really love to talk about and focus about here at Turning Leaf is the coping skills and how to use them instead of avoidant tactics, which sometimes we think are coping skills.
Right.
And so if you want to go back through and watch our other ones, we do spend kind of a lot of time talking about the difference between avoidance skills and what the coping skills actually are. So we're not going to spend a lot of time doing that today, but go find it. That information is there for you. And I'm working on the YouTube, you guys. Every week, I just have to confess about how I confess. It was me, I confess. How I just struggle with that, but I am gonna get her done. So hang in there with me. But you can go back. I know on Instagram. They disappear because they're just in our story.
Yes,
but if you go find
24 hours,
the 24 hours exactly. But if you go to either Dean's personal page on Facebook, the TurningLeaf Wellness Center page, or my personal Kate Semmens page, we share there as well. So you'll find our videos there, and very, very soon will be fully uploaded to YouTube as well.
Yes, so we do have quite a few on there.
We do.
On the YouTube channel already that you can view and use. So
just
we
not
will
the
get
8
the rest
skill
in as
ones,
well we can.
Yeah. All right.
So this week we are on our 8th coping skill, and this one is on resolution. And the reason that resolution is so critical is because we spend so much of our time. I know you're trying to adjust.
She said, "I can't see Kate."
Hopefully you can see her. We spend so much of our time working through issues, moving past issues, and our life becomes so quick that there's a lot of things that we just never really create resolution around. And part of the problem is the reason that we have a hard time resolving issues is because we're never truly in the space that we're in. And that's the part that we've got to work to, is we've got to work to resolve the 3 different worlds that we live in.
Can we jump to the book real quick?
Yes.
Because I love that you're pointing this out. So personally, in my own life coaching that I've done with Dean, we've spent some time talking about resolution. And also in some of the different the emotional growth seminars that we've done,
right?
That I've participated in as well here with Turning Leaf, and we've had lots of other people participate with us. There's a really cool analogy to kind of understand this idea of resolution, because I know for me it was one that I really wrestled with, like kind of not understanding, especially because I feel like, or I felt like, I guess I should say, so much of resolution felt out of my control, right? Like because either maybe I would want to have a conversation with somebody to be able to resolve something, but the other person has their agency, right? Like I can't like force, like manhandle someone into having a conversation with me and resolving an issue, or having an open, honest conversation to be able to come to some sort of resolution with it, right?
Right.
But I love the analogy that you talk about in here that kind of helped me understand how to use it as a coping skill.
Right.
So in our journey, Isaac has just left San Diego.
Yep.
And he's gone back to his cute little girlfriend. I'm not going to give away the love story, so read it and enjoy the tiny little love story.
We kind of put that little undertow in there.
Yeah, I love it. Kind of gets back and starting out creating his life, right? Creating his existence,
moving on and getting
life.
going. Yep.
Yes. And so a point in this, he still keeps kind of ruminating about his experiences that he's just gone through, right? And still not getting into the now moment. Right. And so he and Amy are they went to dinner and then they were going to go catch a movie. So this is where we're at in the book. By the way, I'm on page 92 if you're following along in our book club.
They're back in Chicago.
They're back in Chicago. That's right. So 92, about halfway down the page, he says this was his new reality, the one he was creating. Amy stopped to look into a store window, and Isaac followed her gaze. Isaac's eyes shifted focus from the mannequin in the window and his own reflection. It was foggy, and he could see cars and lights and other people passing through his reflection. He had to squint to see himself. In a moment of profound clarity, he understood that life was still teaching him, even in that very moment. He was so caught up in worrying about the key, thinking about the past and the future, but missing the moments before him. As the cars continued to slide past him, he understood that past and future was created in the mind's eye, obscured by memories and perceived pain, fuzzy and hard to focus like the reflections in a store window. Memory is when we create knowledge, like learning boundaries and recognizing limitations, Isaac realized. Imagination is where we create vision and the ability to see ourselves breaking through obstacles. But Isaac had been misusing his imagination to relive the pains and hurts of the past, to be a victim of his own story, instead of using it to learn and grow and forge a clear, healthy vision for the future. So I'm on 93, and one more paragraph, and then we're going to chat about it. Resolution comes when we pull ourselves from the window into the body we inhabit, becoming honest. Inhabit. Becoming honest in our view of ourselves. And honesty requires acceptance and removal of expectation, eliminating the need to be right and the fear of being wrong in the eyes of others. Resolution means finding ourselves, creating balance between past and future, reconciling thought and memory, surfing smoothly through the endless oceans of chaos and control.
Yes.
I freaking love that. I love that imagery, right?
Yes.
Because we've all been there. We've all window shopped. We've all been walking down a street and caught our reflection and seen into the window as well as ourselves and the street behind us.
Yes.
So I love that this is a really, really tangible analogy here.
Yeah. And it was one that really struck me. And so part of the book club fun part is the reveals of where things came from. And so where this came from was one day when I was contemplating the picture that Audrey Hepburn took. I don't know if you remember that, the breakfast at Tiffany's. And it has Audrey Hepburn. She's staring, they have a photograph of her staring into a shop window. But it also has a picture of the cars going on behind her and the people in the traffic. And it really dawned on me how much that's us, is we stand and we stare into our imagination like staring into that window. We're looking at what it is that we want, and we long for it, but it seems unattainable. It's on the other side of the almost the glass window, literally. But then in the background, if we focus on it, all we see is the past. We see everything behind us moving, and it's distracting, and it can distract us from the view of what we want. But the part that we're missing is we're missing the observer.
Right.
We're missing the observer. We're missing the person themselves that's experiencing the moment, because we're so caught up in vision of what we want and the distraction of the past that we don't even realize that the most powerful person is the one creating this experience.
Right. And
so that's where it is. It's that memories are where we take memories and we turn them into knowledge, and we turn them into wisdom. Instead, we don't. And that's what, at the beginning of the book, he's learning that I can focus on all these memories and use them as the kindling of hate and anger, and just turn that fire in our belly and go. Or we can be afraid of the future, and we can be so caught up in the future that we can't even stay in the space that we're in.
Right.
As he's learning from Gage in San Diego. But that powerful moment when he realizes that occupying the space that you're in, using the future, using your imagination as a tool to create and to envision and to manifest, and then using the memories to create knowledge and wisdom from experience, and to learn to bring them all into the moment you're in, is resolution.
Yeah, and that's so powerful. We talk about that quite often, that power of now, right? And how to stay there and be there. But I feel like this coping skill is the key to that.
It is. Because nothing, the rest of this stuff they are powerful coping skills, but resolution is the one where you pull it all together and you bring it into the observer. And we talked about in the last, with the meditation and prayer section, we talked about the 3 stages of who we are. We talk about the alpha, the beta, and the theta. Again, I apologize for those that I was calling it the delta. But as we realize and recognize that there is this beta is that conscious observer. It's the one that's commenting and talking. And that's the one that we are. That's where we have the ability to change preferences, change prejudices, change and have that most powerful influence on who we are. Not change to be what everybody wants us to be,
right,
but change to become what moves us forward. And in that moment of growth, that conscious observer starts to now change the whole navigation of what's happening, because that conscious state, we start to observe it, we comment on it, and now those comments are loving, they're powerful, they're confident, they're strong, they're driven, they're focused, and they start to write the programming on the theta, and all of a sudden our world starts to open up, and everything we've ever wanted starts to fall right within our hands.
So then we can see what it is that we want, as well as learn from the past, right? Which is what Isaac is saying. We can still we're going to bring our past with us. That's just part of it.
That's
part
who
of
you
being
are.
Human, right?
Yep.
Can't really get rid of it. It
Yes.
is what it is, but we can learn from it and help it push us forward in our growth and in our transformation. But to be in the moment living it,
yes,
is so crucial.
And that's the most frustrating part in watching us as human beings through the years. The most frustrating thing for me is to watch us, even myself as I wrestle with it as a human still to this day, is that concept of my past being who I am. Your past is not who you are. Your behaviors in the past, that's not who you are. But if we tell the story like we talked about at the beginning of the book, if we tell the story enough, we start to believe that's who we are. We start to believe in those limitations. We start to believe in those pieces. And we think this is who I am, when in reality, no. You're right here in this space right now. The person watching this video right now, that's you.
That's who you are.
That's who you are, is that person having this experience. Now you've got your commentator, your conscious observer who's just listening. I'm talking to you and you're going, oh, this person, and you're commenting. That's the power is in that person there, because they're going to write this person here that's going to affect how you dream, how you express, how you feel, how you experience life. So last week I gave you the challenge of meditating for 5 minutes. And
for 5 days.
For 5 days, just 5 minutes. And I'm so grateful. So many people were like, hitting me up, texting me, messaging me that we're taking the challenge. And I hope you continue with that. And if you did the 5 minutes, I dare you to up it to 8.
Ooh, I double dog dare you.
Oh, snap. And and really challenge you to dig into that challenge and the 5-minute meditation, the 8-minute meditation, focusing on that breath, but really starting to rewrite the programming, resolving to be in the space that you're in right now. And that's the resolution, bringing things to closure, bringing things to a point where they're not just this story we keep telling over and over and over, believing it's who we are. These are our limitations. This is why. That person that's constantly afraid of the future, getting hurt again. To truly be happy in life, you have to be willing to be hurt again and again and again and again. And that's the biggest challenge. It's hard. I'm one of the, I participate in this life with you. Kate participates in this life.
I'm a hardcore participant.
So it's not like you're going to go through life and find this elevated person that just does not experience pain or discomfort. That's the human experience. That's the human experience.
And the wonderful piece of that, and I know we've kind of talked about this before, and we've talked about it in our life coaching sessions together, but that's what really attracts us to one another, is when we have that pain and that discomfort in common, right? Like we're like, oh yeah, you're my soul sister. I get you.
Yes.
Because I've gone through that. Like I totally understand that. And it's interesting that it's those pieces in our life that we try to hide the most from each other, but that's where we can really grow and love and connect with one another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we get a little bit close to the end here, we're getting closer. I just wanted to remind you, we have been making lives for almost a year now.
I know. Oh my gosh. We need balloons or something.
We've got to find it. We got to find out when
the
our
very
first one was.
And we'll celebrate.
But I'm pretty sure it was in June at some point, and we were doing our lives. And so I'm pretty stoked that we're coming on our 1 year of doing these lives. And all of you that have been supporting us and getting these shares out and getting these comments, thank you so much for doing that.
Grateful.
Thank you for picking up the books and really sharing the knowledge and getting the information out. I think that's the most important thing about our message, is that there are answers out there. We just have to be willing to put ourselves in a position to find those answers. And then when we find the answers, we have to be willing to share those answers with others.
Absolutely.
If I share, and that's the part that's important, is if I hide my pain because I'm afraid of what other people think, I also hide the answers that I'm learning and also the answers I might find. So not that I have to blast my life on Facebook and put it all out there on Instagram and all the others, but it's okay for me to open up and to let people in. And that's important, a message for all of us to do.
I love just one last little piece with resolution that Isaac brought out in there. No, you're good. You're absolutely good. It's that acceptance piece, right? Because that's the piece that I was really the most struggling with in the beginning, not understanding how to really apply resolution. And it's just when you can accept your now, right, and love and embrace everything that it is for right now, then resolution comes instantaneously almost.
Yes, it does. It does. And that lack of expectation piece is the most critical part of acceptance. All those expectations of how we think things are going to go because we've experienced similar in the past. But that is one of the things in even in conversations, we have to stop assuming we know. This is the first time we've had this conversation, right?
Right.
This is the first time you've watched this video, right? So how can you know how it's going to go? This is the first time.
So you never know what's going to happen on this side.
That's right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. You've been a lovely audience, and we will see you next week on Monday Night Live.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in. And again, please like and share the videos. Please comment as well. We love hearing from you.
See ya.
See you later.
Have a great week.
I'll go high.
I'll go low.
Bye.